Gerdenn,
Welcome
take
to
it.
Gerd a load of this. We've got special guest Egwin.
Hello, Egwin.
He
Hello.
really loves our title.
I
He
really
really
enjoy it.
was
It's
the
it's
flagship for
so
this
it's
podcast
so
and was
much better than
so
long distance library. I love it so
he
much.
was
Okay, go.
so supportive of everything we've ever done in our entire lives.
This week, the three of us read Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young.
Which we already know, based on if you listen to the recap, is one of my all-time favorite reads / my 6-star read. Love this book so much.
Do you want to give another synopsis?
I can. Let me just read this one off the actual page instead of just going with my gut, so that we have a clear understanding of what's going on. Raised to be a warrior, 17-year-old Elin fights alongside her Oska clansmen in an ancient rivalry against the Riki clan. Her life is brutal but simple. Fight and survive until the day she sees the impossible on the battlefield. Her brother fighting with the enemy. The brother she watched die 5 years ago. Dun dun dun. Okay, thoughts, comments, concerns. Let's get your rating first. How many out of 5 stars would you give this book as far as your enjoyment?
I enjoyed it. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. And I
Okay.
haven't read a book in a while, so my rating may be a little off, but
I'll
4
take
out
it.
of 5 for me.
It's really
I
solid.
also gave it a 4 out of 5, though, so. And
I
I don't
respect
think
this.
it's because, I don't think it was overhyped. Because, you say it's a 6-star. It's like your Roman Empire book.
It is.
I don't think it was overhyped for me. I did enjoy it. I really liked the writing style. Like, I would read Adrienne Young books. Like, I'm not necessarily I read everything from this author person, but I think if I saw a book and was thinking about it and it was written by her, I would like pick it up
Yes.
because I thought it was written really well and done really well, and I was immersed page 1, scooped into the story. It was everything was described well enough, but like not over the top. So it was just a very immersive, very good time. But I didn't give it a 5-star because it did lull a bit in the middle for me. And some of the Viking stuff was a little bit
Too
watered
Viking?
down.
Oh.
Not Viking
Oh,
enough.
you're right. It's
Yeah,
actually
not a
not
lot of
Viking enough.
It was
maybe Norse.
definitely Norse.
Yeah. There's a lot of Viking-esque things, but yeah, I could agree with you. It's not.
Having like watched like the Vikings TV show and stuff like that, where it's like the god stuff is way more prevalent. And in this, it was like, I would say watered down, but to the point where it was very palatable to read and understand. It wasn't overly complicated, but maybe a smidge of it was missing.
Yeah, I could get that. It's definitely, like I said, a 6-star read for me, but it also lends itself to its flaws. Like, I don't think it's perfect, but I just have...
It's your cup of tea.
Oh, man. I just
That's
love
fine.
being in the world of the book. I love the characters so much. Like, I love how that she found family, and we can get more into that, but I just love the dynamics between everyone and the growth that legitimately every character has to go through, even down to like one of the clan's freaking priestess. She has to get on board with a lot too. So it's not everyone's holy grail, but I definitely recommend this book up the wall, if you will.
So, spoiler synopsis, so we can just get the plot on the table.
Yes.
You said before, every 5 years, these two rival clans meet up in this same field, this grassy knoll, and duke it out because their respective gods don't like each other. And our main character, Elin, I would sometimes pronounce it Aelin because, well,
I think in the audiobook she leans more towards Elin and Aelin. Like it's really
it is double.
it's interchangeable, I think.
So our main
have always gone
character, Elin, her older brother died the previous battle, but in this one 5 years later, she sees him alive, fighting on the other side in opposing armor, and said, "What the heck?" Told her dad. He said, "You're crazy. It's not him. It's the gods favoring you. He protected you." So, you had a better synopsis before when you did wing it.
Okay.
She goes to find her brother because she says she believes her dad, but like she doesn't believe her dad. And trying to find her brother, he is alive, and with the enemy, they capture her, and she ultimately can only be there if she is a slave. So she has to be a slave for the enemy. Her brother's family, his new family. She's her brother's slave now. More or less.
Which means in like their culture is very much dishonored by her god, but it's a lot less. I'm sure, and they kind of expound on it a little bit, but you get treated very poorly in different villages than where she is, and maybe even with different families. I think
for sure
her brother Eerie really made it very clear to his new family, like, we're keeping her so that we can keep her safe, and she's gonna have to work. Like, they weren't super easy on her, but maybe she didn't have the hardest life as a slave would if she was captured and traded anywhere else.
And the plan was to sit in this house being a, quote, slave until the thaw, so it was warm enough to go back home. And in the meantime, she's doing menial tasks, hating people, planning revenge, yada yada. One random day, the village is raided by a third clan. I don't know their names.
The Haria.
The what?
Haria.
Them. And Eileen sees one of these people wearing her home clan's armor. So she puts two and two together. They raided her home. She freaks out. And she persuades this rival clan to maybe try and join forces with her home clan, band together, and defeat the third clan that is bigger than both of them. And then we go on a journey back home to do that. I have a note here that we randomly try to kill. Is it Fisk? Fisk?
Yeah.
A couple times. We try to kill him a couple times. Come around to joining together.
So Fisk is the oldest son in...
He's a slave owner.
In Erie's family.
He's
the slave owner. He buys Elin from the clan. Essentially, the clan takes prisoners after the war or the battles or whatever they are. As, quote, slaves to help around the house, to help in field work, to help with whatever. Fisk's mother is an apothecary. She is not the town healer necessarily, but she definitely does help people with infections and colds and all that good stuff. So he buys Elin to keep her safe and with her brother, and also to help her mother out, or his mother out. They are obviously sworn enemies. He fucking shoots her a couple times. Pretty sure he cuts her a couple times with an axe. She hits him with an axe a couple times. Like, they are definitely not friends. And so she has to convince him when she finds out that the Haria have potentially raided her village. She has to convince him, like, I'm not going to try to run away because I don't want to be a slave anymore. I'm going to try to run away because I don't want my family to be dead, and I want to make sure that they're not dead. So she still does try to kill him on a couple of those journeys. on the way down the mountain, on the way up the mountain.
For me, because again, while she's essentially stuck in their house waiting for thaw.
Yep.
And for me, that's a pet peeve. Because I hate when a character is
Has
stuck
to, like,
somewhere
wait.
doing like miscellaneous or repetitive tasks to pass time. I know it's usually, and in this instance, it's crucial to like the character arc and development. In this case, it was Eileen warming up to this clan and realizing that like we're all humans, we're all people, we're all Vikings, we're not so different.
They all herd
But-
goats the same way.
Yeah, there was still I did a lot of skimming in there because
It was
there's
very much
only
like,
so much garlic prepping and wood carving I could read about.
yeah, one of their neighbors, the like chick is pregnant and her husband got badly injured in the battle, like in the meadow. And so
You lost a leg, right?
yeah, so he's no longer he's no longer able to do his work, but like Elin has to like try to help her or like Fisk's mom heal this guy and like help him get over the fact that he lost the leg and can't do anything. And then on top of that, she's trying to be like a doula for the pregnant chick. So it is very much like wake up every morning, do this, then go to bed, be angry, wake up, be angry. But if you know anything about me, I love that.
For me, I was expecting more battles because Viking book, we literally start page 1 in a battle, and it
I
was
think
really
this is the
cool and
most-
intense. And then like the last chapter's a battle, and like that was like it.
This is the most slice of life Viking book you're ever gonna find. And it really is. That is like just like a slice of village life, which to me it reminds me of playing Skyrim. So I like that in that sense. It's like, go here, do this task, get this done. You're like, no.
That's what made it a 4-star for me.
Okay.
Not enough battle.
What would have made it a 5-star for you, Edwin?
Would have made it a 5-star for me.
Yeah.
Is I haven't read a book in a while, so I don't know what a 5-star is. As far as I'm concerned,
What was it missing? What were you like, oh, I wish it had that.
I didn't mind.
Or I
the
wish it
slice
didn't
of,
have that.
I didn't mind the slice of life, because the beginning is packed with a battle, and the end is also jammed with a battle. So I didn't really mind the slice of lifeness, but I really can't think of what would have made it a 5-star. I mean, there is one thing I didn't expect, which I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here,
Go for it.
but I don't know if I'm just a novice reader, but I did not see the blossoming of a relationship happening.
You're a novice reader.
Like you guys were describing earlier, we went from shooting each other, hitting each other with axes to
Googly eyes.
Making out in
Yeah,
the potato
to
sacks.
to making out and all that. And I was curious if I was just blind or
You're
was
a
it
novice
also
reader.
it was
Dude.
also out of nowhere.
Dude, we even get who did this to you? We even get one of those moments, and it's like my bread and butter. I love the slow burn enemies to lovers. So welcome to
We
reading.
call that enemies to lovers.
Welcome to
Enemies
Reading
to
101,
lovers.
where we talk about my favorite ever macro trope, which is enemies to lovers, where if it's done well, which I think in this case you are maybe a novice reader, but also I think it was really done well where they just genuinely hated each other so seethingly much. And so you're like, okay, this fury must turn into passion at some point.
I
think
did make a note of that. The like for me, I knew she hated the rival clan, like it was very prominent,
Yes.
like the whole honor dishonor system, like to the point of leaving her brother to like go home, like just the true hatred and Eileen, I couldn't tell you. The transition to not hating them was so natural. I couldn't pinpoint what chapter it happened.
Why the slice of life or like that boring.
I know that's why it's there. I just don't like it. But the gradual, I don't, lack of hatred. I don't know. The gradual warming up
Understanding.
yeah, the gradual understanding was very, very well done. And it didn't hit me that had happened until we see her friend from home, Mira?
Yeah.
Mira? Because Mira is a mirror to like her past self of hatred.
Yeah. And goes
it's
like right for the kill.
Like in the beginning when they're together, they're the same person as far as like that honor, blood, hatred goes.
Yeah, because they become fighting buddies after the season where her brother dies.
And then we're separated for the whole book. We follow Eileen. And then towards the end, Eileen and Mira are together again. And they're polar opposites now. Like.
Yep.
And you can just. That's like really when I saw the growth that she had because Mira was basically her.
And she wasn't just. I mean, I know that there was like. They're starting to become closer, or maybe there was some sort of like. Already like a physical affection by that time, but you can tell that she's not just trying to stick up for Fisk in that moment, like when she finds when she finds Mira and Mira's trying to take Fisk out and she's like, whoa, calm down,
it was bigger than that.
Put the X down. We need to like frickin' we need to set it on the table. We need to talk. First off, where is everybody? Because she basically comes back to like a deserted village and she doesn't know if her family's dead or alive.
Also, if you're in need of a drinking challenge, you could take a shot every time her shoulder pops out.
Oh, she gets her shoulder dislocated so many times in this
her arm should have been amputated. Oh my gosh, every chapter she re-injured her shoulder.
Well, she gets it dislocated the day she
dozen
sees
times
her brother, and then she gets shot by Fisk in the same shoulder. And then she gets her arm dislocated by one of the villagers who absolutely hates her. Like, she just does not have a good time. Like I said, she could have it way worse, but it's definitely not enjoyable. So it's interesting to see her form those opinions of like, hey, maybe these people aren't actually terrible. Also to note, her brother, she finds out, is actively courting a village girl from the opposite clan. And that sends Elin into a frickin' tizzy. And she's like, you are dead to me now more than you were 5 years ago.
I think there was a lot of people rating this book 1 and 2 stars.
Yeah, I know. It's only got like a 3.6 average, I think. 3.94. I lied. It's almost 4. Okay.
It's almost 4? Oh my god.
And you rated it 4 as a novice, so.
I rated it 4 as a novice.
I'm just like, if they need to go read an actual 1 or 2 star book. Because this book, like, we're looking for grammatical errors, genuinely no plot, inconsistency in the characters, unnatural dialogue. Because you don't find any of that in here. Right. So, like, I think, honestly, it was... A lot of the reviews seem to be from, like, the year it came out.
It was not well received when it first...
I think it's a lot of people complaining that, like, this is not the next It Viking book.
Or fantasy, and maybe it was, or epic.
It might have been marketed as an intense Viking book. And in that case, it would have fallen flat because... Like you said, it's way village
more
life.
It's way more based on betrayal of self and like acceptance of things you didn't like, or other perspectives, right? Because there's a lot of like, basically you cross enemy lines, you die or you become a slave. And then if you become a slave, you're dishonored and you can't enter the
Might
heaven
as well
of your...
be dead.
Yeah, you can't enter the heaven of your God. Like, you can't enter afterlife. And in their cultures, that's a big thing. Like, they are very much on honoring death. You have to have a spiritual rite that has to, like, tide you over into the afterlife. And, you know, like, there's a lot that's riding on the fact that she gets captured. And she gets captured because she wanted to frick around and find out if her brother actually was alive. Her brother didn't die when he fell down the ravine and had his guts hanging out of his body. He became really close with Fisk, who also fell down the ravine because they were fighting each other. And then Fisk's father...
I think they're my favorite
finds
relationship
them.
in the book.
I know.
That's the real enemies to lovers.
They basically keep each other alive, not by, like, administering help or anything, but just, like, knowing that each other are there. Then Fisk's father finds them. They get them up from the ravine, and they help Elend's brother to heal and to become a person again. And they were going to treat him like a slave, but then because Fisk stepped in and was like, no, he saved my life, we're treating him like a brother and we're taking him in. You have to get past enemy lines, not die. You have to live long enough to find that story out. And luckily Elend does, but it does take her a really long time to get even... I mean, she almost dies like so many times, so it takes her a long time to even get to that point. And so, yeah, the gradual realization of, like, hey, maybe this isn't so terrible, or they're not everyone's not out to get them. And then the fact that they have to string together as clans to defeat the Heria at the end.
I will say, I was a little disappointed with the ending. It felt a bit rushed to me, or like it was a lot of build up.
Yeah, it was there was a lot going on in the last like
brief.
20 pages. I do agree.
Got cut.
Yeah, it feels like the movie ran out of time and they cut the battle. Is what it felt like, because we had so much build up. And I
definitely skimmed that part. I'm not gonna lie. And I have read it a lot, so I didn't the first time.
I know Adrienne Young can write a Viking fight scene, because that first fight scene is phenomenal. So I was expecting that for the last battle, and like we got half of it.
Yeah.
Like it just felt incomplete or rushed. But I did like the little insight into the harmonious living after the battle. That was nice.
Yeah. And then it goes on.
Yeah, I can't think. Oh, there's a sequel, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
That people don't recommend reading.
Nope. And I've only read it twice, so I don't think I necessarily recommend it unless you're like, I need to be in this world with these characters more. Because it follows Halvard, which is the younger brother of Fisk. And after, I think he's 18.
Interesting.
So wait, he's 18. That means... Is it still the same, like, clan and everything?
So yes, it's the same clan, the combined clan. And then Fisk and Elend are in it, but it mainly centers another clan from across the fjord, so like way, way far away. It's called The Girl the Sea Gave Back? I'm looking at it right now.
I think so.
Yeah, The Girl the Sea Gave Back, and basically it follows a mysterious chick who washes up on the shore, and she has glowing tattoos. This is
spoiler, Edwin. She's probably gonna be the love interest.
Yeah, spoiler, Ed. Just in case. Just in case. Yeah, it's about him. It's very well. I mean, it's Adrienne Young. I love her, so I can't say that it was. It's not a direct sequel.
It's in the world.
It's in the world, and it's about characters you like. It's very It's very akin to, and I know neither of you have read this, the Graceling series, if anybody out there has read it. It's very akin to like same world, endearing characters, different plot lines, different like main characters. So I liked it. I didn't think it was like disappointing. It just I won't read it 12 times like I will Sky in the Deep across my life.
I can't think of any times I've genuinely wanted like a bonus chapter from someone else's POV at the end of a book. Like, you know, they always have those, and I'm like, okay, I didn't need that. I didn't ask for that. I want Fisk's POV of
Yes.
waking up in the ravine.
Yes, I want a sequel or a prequel, sorry. I want a prequel. I want Eerie and Fisk's relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
They're my favorite because they just exude like brotherly love, and they're just so it's just such a strong bond, and I don't know. I love reading them. So
Can I ask a question about maybe
Absolutely.
something that's a little clear to someone else and not me being novice?
yeah, sure.
The title.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Sky in the Deep?
You want me to figure out what Sky in the Deep means?
Wait.
You're right, though. I have no idea why.
Okay,
Relevant.
let's just
Why
take
is it-
a wild guess, and we'll go with what we were just talking about. How Fisk and Eerie get frickin' launched down a ravine, and maybe they look up and there's the sky. So they're in the deep in the sky.
So that's
Sky
the
in the
name
deep.
of the book because of
know.
the ravine?
I don't know.
Our books usually have such titles
No.
that are okay. That's
Usually, like,
interesting because
because not
I
all of
don't-
them are like, you know,
yeah.
The Hobbit.
Uh-huh.
They don't always.
Hunger Games.
They don't always spell out exactly what you're gonna be reading about.
Some or even just the name of the character in the book. you
Fourth
know.
wing? Tell me what that means.
It's because they're in the
No,
fourth
I know. I'm asking him. He doesn't know that.
But he
Yeah, I
read
didn't
this
know.
book and doesn't understand. I agree.
We
I
should
don't
read
know what it
Fourth
means.
Wing.
I don't know what Sky in the like it.
I don't know what it is either, but I just like it, and it looks nice on the cover.
Okay.
And
It looks nice. It's an interesting title, but what does it have to do?
does it
with
mean
the story?
emerging from murky visions of terrible prejudice and finally seeing the light that other people have it the same way? I don't know. I don't think Adrienne. Let's call her up. And she is listening. I don't think she has much to say on that.
I googled it, and AI Google says the title may refer to the sky in the land of the Vikings.
Whoa.
Is the deep the land of the Vikings?
I don't know.
Maybe they're in the fjords. It's like, there's lots
Well,
of mountains around.
You guys just talked about how the follow-up book has
The girl the sea
something
gave
about-
back.
and the
And-
sea is known as the Big Deep.
There you go. But and the
So
sea,
she
the
just-
fjords technically there are around the ocean, I think. Like they connect. So maybe.
So they're surrounded by the
But
sea.
guess what? I don't know. I'm really sorry to tell you.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
I thought maybe I missed it.
No.
And I was just
I think
kinda
book
like with the
titles
romance.
just happen. Again, it's not like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
No, I can't think of nothing else. But that was I did have that joggling around in my mind.
The whole
What-
time he's
What does
reading.
it mean?
The Sky in the Deep. Well, I'm gonna figure out what Sky
Where
in the
is
Deep
this?
means,
How
yeah.
would you rate like your pacing on this, like as far as how you were drawn into it? Do you feel like when you were reading, did you feel like there was any time where you couldn't put it down, or you were like, oh, I'll pick it up because I
so
have to, or does this?
I know a book is good, so this is gonna probably go into my review more of giving it a 4 out of 5. Is whenever I enjoy a book, I'm like, dang, I can't put this down. I gotta read more, and that's why it was given a marathon treatment.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
Do you
I'm
know at
just
what
reading out a
point?
chapter.
At what point you were like, oh yes, it's good, or was it the whole time?
It was mostly the whole time. At the end also, we talked about how it was a little cut short, but I enjoyed just having a book that I enjoyed again, because it has been 12 years since I have read a book
we'll get
from
you going
front to back.
on more. This I would say is like not. This is not a anticlimactic read in the way of everything you went through. Yeah, the ending is a little bit tapered off, and honestly, when I do reread it, like I get annoyed that we have to go through that again. But everything else to me is like worth it. So
The book also does a very good job at describing the scene. Like I felt like every scene that was described, I could
feel like you were
all
there.
its grossness, and which there was many scenes of torture in that, and they were very, very, very
Descriptive
in what was happening and whatnot. And I don't remember that being something in the other books I've read.
Yeah, she does a very good job of, I think, putting you in Elend's shoes. Like, Elend's not a wishy-washy character. Like, she's very clear on what she is thinking and feeling, which is nice, because then you don't have a will they, won't they kind of thing. You just have a they did kind of thing. They do.
It was very Viking. It was very Viking-esque.
I would hope so. I know that it's not like some big, Valhalla, like, big epic, but it's nice. Like, I just like being transported to that world. Again, it reminds me of playing Skyrim or, like, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or, anything, maybe God of War Ragnarok. I don't know. You were playing that while you read it. Did that help?
Ragnarok. Well, it did help. God of War Ragnarok, though, was a lot more gods.
Yeah.
And
this was very much
magical.
like, we didn't know about any other gods, but we do know about how their townships and, like, villages function, what the hierarchy is.
Ragnarok deals more with the Norse mythology,
right?
And the
which I also like,
that.
But I think that these were more low key gods. I don't think that, not for sake of a better word, low key, Lowkey, not Loki, like the Norse god Loki. I think that these were definitely not fully fledged out gods. They were kind of just like, this is the god. Do what you will with it. Overall, are you mad I made you read it?
No,
Hell yeah.
The seal is broken that has stood the test of time for over a decade.
So now we can get him going.
Now what do we read next? Can we read a 2-star book, a 1-star book?
Yeah, I got one for you. I just finished it this morning.
So I have a balance. So I have a comparison I could give it to.
Yeah. I don't recommend backsliding. No? I think we only go up from here.
Oh, okay.
But also, I rate books really differently than Gerdenn does. So, like, gotcha. A 3.5 is a good book to me.
Yeah, that's the definition of good, 3.5.
It's good. A great book is 4, and a fantastic book is 5. A okay book is 2, and I'm not even going to go there.
2 is okay?
Yeah, when I finished that book, I didn't DNF it.
You didn't say it was okay. You said it was bad.
It was okay in the way that, like, I was okay with reading it. It wasn't great. That's for sure. And it wasn't good.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't good. And it was bad, but it was okay.
I think 3 is okay and 2 is bad.
I rate books based on how I would recommend them to other people, and, like, how I would go about if I would want to. So, like, there's rereadability and then there's recommendability. That's not a word, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So if I would recommend a book, it's 3.5 and up, and if I would reread a book, it's definitely 5 stars. So there you go. So you can find your own system, being a novice. And if you do need us to point out the obvious love tropes,
the system is in making me want to put it down. And this book did not want. I did not feel the need to put it down. I was like, I'll crack back into it. Let me go.
That's the
let me
sign
go.
of a good book.
It was, and it is. And I love,
Yeah.
I'm like, I love Fisk.
Can't wait to see what Adrienne Young does.
She has tons of books.
I can't wait.
She's really gonna go far.
The future.
You
she
know,
can
this
go.
book is a little old.
It's actually from 2018.
We're in the future.
I bought it. I think I bought it the week it came out, which is odd for me because I don't usually do that. But I saw this book and I said, I need you on my shelf.
Sky in the deep. What could this mean? Let me read the book.
That's actually, you know what? That's perfect because I cannot tell what the book is about based on the title. I would have no freaking clue. But then you turn the book around and there's a little blurb on the back that says, oh, her brother's not dead. He's alive. Oh my gosh, he's in enemy armor. Oh my gosh.
So you think it should the alternative title would have been Traitor Brother Alive Not Dead?
Yeah. Yeah. The sea the girl the sea gave back and Traitor Brother Alive Not Dead. Perfect. My favorite series by Adrienne. This is one of, I think this is her debut book. This is her very first ever book. So we could only ever go up from there. I do have a couple of her books on my to be read list, TBR for our novice, that I'm excited to pick up because her writing's just very good. And now I'm gonna have to schedule in my next annual reread.
We just did it.
The next
Verbally.
one. So
2025.
September 2025. I think I did reread this last September as well.
Really?
So there you go.
Darn, she blows.
That's our thoughts on. Do you have any bits you want to put in there that you didn't get?
No, I got rid. So Gerden, I didn't tell you this. I had a bunch of bits lined up that I was gonna do when I got on the podcast.
I think we got time.
I had one where I was gonna start describing one book that was similarly titled to Sky in the Deep.
Like you read the wrong book.
I read
you
the
couldn't
wrong
find one.
book. Oh, I'm so stupid. And then actually pull out.
Oh, so like that's what made you think about the title was because you were looking for titles.
Yes, he was. He even asked me. He was like, "Can you find me? Can you find a book that's Sky in the Deep but not Sky in the Deep?" So that was one of them.
Mm-hmm. And then my other bit was gonna have another person and input.
Oh, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
We love you, Tim. Shout out. We'll get you on the next one.
He's wearing scrubs right now.
Okay. I think we're gonna cut it off there. Thank you for indulging us on this horribly titled podcast called Gerd, a Load of This. Totally fully endorsed by Egwin.
Great. Everybody knows what that means. It's
okay,
great.
just say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Like and subscribe.
Goodbye.